Today is April 26th, 2022. My name is Joe Todd, and this is an interview with Paul Anderson and Ivery Anderson in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Sir, where were you born?
Grand Junction, Colorado.
Grand Junction, Colorado. When's your birthday?
10/28. You want the year?
Yes,
40.
1940. Who is your father?
George Kenneth Anderson.
I'm sorry, George?
Kenneth.
Kenneth. Okay. And your mother?
Ida Hakes Anderson.
What was her maiden name?
Hakes.
Hicks.
Hakes. H-A-K-E-S.
Oh, H-A-K-E-S.
K-E-S.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, where were you born?
In Oklahoma.
Where?
Tuskahoma.
Tuskahoma.
Tuskahoma. That's in the Choctaw Nation, isn't it?
I don't know because I left when we were I was about a year old.
Okay.
We both,
And,
we both moved to California about a year old.
and when's your birthday?
11/17/40.
Who is your father?
Troy Kennedy.
Troy Kennedy, right?
George Kennedy.
Troy.
T-R-O-Y.
Oh. Kennedy?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And your mother?
Mary.
What was her maiden name?
Sumter.
Sumter. So you both moved to California when you were about a year old.
Mm-hmm.
What part?
Bay Area.
Bay Area. San Francisco?
Near San Francisco.
Okay, okay. Why did your families move to California?
Oh, I think because they saw that there was more opportunity.
I'm not sure about why mine did.
Did they work for the war effort out there?
My dad did and my mom did.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a welder and my mom was little and petite and she could get into the ships where the men couldn't go and she was a welder.
Oh,
My father worked on the docks.
Okay.
Warehouseman.
yes. Okay. Where'd you two go to school? Where'd you start school?
You mean
University of California.
you mean college?
I'm sorry?
College.
Okay. And
University of California.
University of
At
California
Berkeley.
and
Berkley.
Berkeley.
That's where we met.
Okay. What'd you study?
I got my degree in sociology.
Okay.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Now, how did you meet?
We met at a party.
Yeah.
At the Y, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
And when'd you get married?
In 62,
1962.
January.
January 1962. And what year did you receive your degrees?
62.
62.
Same thing.
What did you do after you got your degree?
Went to MIT for graduate school.
MIT. And you studied,
Analytical chemistry.
now what is analytical chemistry?
We analyze chemicals.
Okay.
Analyze things to determine the chemical nature of them,
Okay, okay.
basically. That's
Now
what it is.
MIT is located
Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Cambridge. Is that where Harvard's located?
Yeah,
Okay,
just down the street from
down the
Harvard.
street. Okay. Now you did, is this your master's or PhD?
PhD.
PhD. You have a PhD in analytical chemistry.
Right.
Okay, okay. Now when did you come to Bartlesville?
In January of 66,
Why'd you come here?
Phillips hired me.
You want to know what I said when you told me we were coming to Oklahoma?
What?
I used to come to Oklahoma every summer from California to see my grandmother. I would come with my mother, and it was hotter than all get out. Well, it's not all that hot in the Bay Area in California, and so I said to him, "Well, just go and see how awful it is." He came back and he liked it. So that's
She
how we
went to
got here.
north central Oklahoma.
Okay.
Little different than this area.
Yes, yes, yes. So what did you do for Phillips?
I worked in R&D. I started off working, doing analyses of samples. And,
Okay.
Stuff
Now that's
like that.
research and development?
yeah,
Okay.
and about 4 years into it, we started setting up a computer system to automate a lot of the analyses, and I ended up working in the computer applications and all for the next 26 years.
Now, were you at Phillips when they developed Marlex?
I think they got that, they were, already had that developed.
Okay, they had that developed.
They were still kind of experimenting with it.
Okay, okay. Now, what is Marlex?
It's just polypropylene,
Polypropylene.
yeah,
Just,
particular formulation of it.
I just call it plastic.
Yeah.
How many children do you have?
2.
Two.
Boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl.
Michael, who had Downs,
Okay.
died in August of 2020.
When was Michael born?
January 67.
January 67. What is Down syndrome?
It is a third chromosome 23.
He had an extra chromosome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how does this affect a person? What does it do?
Oh,
It gave us something to do. I mean, because there was nothing here for children with disabilities at that time.
it's, you can see it in facial characterization and the way they walk and hold themselves a lot. It's pretty easy to spot them from that. As far as retardation, it varies from pretty severe to pretty high level.
Mike was pretty high level.
Mike was
We were
pretty
lucky.
high level.
I'm not talking about normal.
He could
but
read, he could
Do
he
simple
could do
math.
simple math,
He could talk.
follow directions. Yeah, he could talk plain enough that people could understand him.
Okay.
We'll have to
And
show
he-
you a
and he had-
picture of Mike.
He had a good imagination.
Yes. If there's nothing here for Michael, how did you care for him? What did you do?
Well, we got busy and found out there's a lot of other people with kids with disabilities. And so that's mainly what I worked on. We had developed Washington County Association for Retarded Citizens. And through that channel, then we developed housing for them and the workshop and things like that.
Now that's, I still call it ARC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Ability Works now.
Okay.
The ARC group homes and the ARC workshop, which then became Employability, combined into one organization.
Okay.
Because they want to take the word retarded out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Was it difficult to get this established?
No, because we got together with a group of parents who also had children with this type, and it was not just all people with Downs, it was anybody with a label of mental retardation.
Or developmental
And,
disability.
And we joined with Oklahoma, OARC, Oklahoma ARC, which was from all over Oklahoma.
Now, Oklahoma ARC is Oklahoma.
Association for Retarded Citizens.
Okay, okay, okay.
And so I would go down there. They would have meetings about once a month. And so we became aware of when there was funding for various things because of that organization. And so that helped us to get money to start programs here in Bartlesville.
Okay. Now, did Michael stay here with you?
He did.
Okay.
He
Till
did.
he was 18.
till he was
Yeah,
18.
and then he moved into the group home.
Okay. Now, what is the group home?
Well, a group home is, we have about 6 people in our group homes, and they are co-ed. Everybody has their own bedrooms. They live in a house.
Bathroom.
And bathroom. They live in a house just like you or I would. And they have, we don't call them, what do we call them? Not caregivers, but house moms. Staff, you know, who come in. At one point in time, they lived there with them, but now we have staff that, and these homes are still here, and staff who come in, and now they're more on a shift basis, and they live, they go to restaurants, they go to movies, they do just the same things you and I would do, and
Now,
it's a wonderful thing.
Yes. Now, who developed the group homes?
Well, I guess you would say me, because because I didn't work in this group of parents in Washington County ARC. Most of them worked, and I didn't work, and so it was like, you can do it. You can go down there and find out what the funding is and stuff like that, and then I would come back and tell them. And so then this group of parents got money from the state to develop the first group home. And then group homes just grew.
Where was the first group home?
It was in, what is that big house, that big,
On Cherokee,
yeah, is it 5th and
Just-
Cherokee?
just north of the community center.
It's a big 2-story red brick house.
Okay.
Green
And,
trim.
yeah, and so I found out that it was for sale, and so this parent group, we all got together and we talked about it, and so we bought it.
Okay.
And how many lived in there, 6 or 8?
6.
6. And then you hired staff to come in. And at that time, some of the staff, they were like house mothers and kind of lived there with them. Now it's more on a shift basis
Okay.
that they do.
Okay. Now, who funds the staff?
Well, we get state funds now,
Okay.
and there was a little money available, wasn't there, when we started? I think, or we
Well,
couldn't have
it
started.
kind of grew out of the thrift shop. We started the thrift shop thinking we could make this is the Washington County ARC, thinking we'd get a little income to do good with. Well, it exceeded everybody's expectations. I think we were thinking maybe a couple $1,000s a year, made $1,000 first month.
Yeah.
And so
Excuse me.
that was the source of income to start with. Thrift shop. It was in the old Goodwill store down on Frank Phillips.
Okay.
We're on the west side.
When we say we don't mean just we.
Yes,
We
this-
mean this group of parents that
parents
we
groups.
got together.
Okay. Now, were you in the old limestone school before they tore the school down?
That's where the thrift shop moved to. Yeah.
Okay.
We bought that school
Okay.
and
And not limestone, Douglas.
Douglas.
Douglas. Yes.
yeah, they tore it down and built the new building there,
Okay,
where
okay.
Ability Works is now.
Okay. Now, were you director
Mm-hmm.
at ARC? What were your duties?
What was my duties? Oh, it was just pretty varied. I supervised staff. I had to go to Oklahoma City for meetings to keep abreast of what the rules were, and
Where the money was
and
coming from.
and yes, and filling out grants and stuff like that, and hiring the staff. It was a good job. I enjoyed it because I enjoyed the people that we were caring for. I had a self-interest, you know, because our baby wasn't going to stay a baby forever, and he was going to need some additional services. And you know, the people who live there, the clients absolutely love it. And they love their jobs. I mean, you could not find a more devoted workforce, you know. They wouldn't miss work for anything. Sometimes you had to make them stay home.
And Mike, when he'd come home, he wouldn't stay more than a couple hours, he'd be ready to go back. 'Cause
So the people in the group homes actually worked at the thrift shop.
They do. They work now they work, and they did some while I was there. They work in the community as well.
Okay.
some of them did.
Some of them do, and some of them are only capable of doing sheltered employment, where they have a supervisor who's maybe caring for 1 to 5 people in a little enclave. Like at the thrift store now, they have people with disabilities who work there. They can hang the clothes and, you know, do lots of stuff, sweep and keep it neat, and they're doing recycling now. And they, you know, you throw the box in the cardboard thing and they tear it down and take it to
Throw it in the machine that
bales it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great
Oh,
program.
yeah. How many people are in the group homes now?
6 in each
Six.
home.
Well, there's 6 in each home.
But then
there's-
there's another program.
There's three groups homes
Okay.
like that. And then there's a specialized one that's for people with more severe
Okay.
and other medical problems.
Mhm.
That's out right behind the Social Security office.
On Adams.
And that one has room for
8.
8.
Eight.
And then there are several homes that have 1 or maybe 2 clients, and they rent homes or.
Well, we have to explain the difference. At some point, Hissom was an institution for people with
Yes.
retardation. That was closing, and so they were putting all those people back into the community in the kinds of homes that we were doing, but they couldn't even be, at that time, with 6 people. It was like 2 or 3 people. And they work, and there's a program for finding them jobs and placing them, and then they place a staff person with them so that they learn the job in a lot of the cases. And if you go to the thrift store, you'll see some of them working there in recycling out where the baler
Yes.
stuff is, and you know, working inside with the clothes and stuff like that.
Now, did you have any connection with Hissom?
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of people
no
from
connection,
Hissom.
but
Okay.
a lot of the people that moved out that had family in this area
Okay.
brought them into this program.
And with Hissom, they could not have more than 2 or 3 people in a home together. So they couldn't go into a group home.
Yes.
And so I think if one person had a severe disability, they would have put a one-on-one staff with
Yes.
them.
Why did Hissom close?
Because institutional living is just awful. And, you know, they didn't get very much individual attention. And I'm not sure that some of them weren't.
There was a lawsuit
Oh.
that
Yeah.
was filed, and because of the lawsuit and the fact that the state didn't want to do anything really, they got these severe, pretty free, do anything you want kind of thing. That's why one person could have their own house.
Yes.
It's not the most economical, but because they let it go all the way to a lawsuit, they got hit pretty hard.
But it was really only the people from Hissom who could make those kinds of decisions of how they were going to live. They could not go into a group home.
Okay.
That was,
Then there's one more level of people that can do pretty well on their own, but they need some help, and so staff would come in maybe 15 hours a week,
Okay.
help them do their budget or take them somewhere for
the grocery store.
grocery store, do shopping.
Yeah.
So there's 3 different, well, with the new group home, 4 different levels of service
Okay.
under that.
Now, did Michael go to the public schools?
He did. Yeah. They had special education classes for them now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was again due to pressure from the parent group.
Yes.
They just started getting the special ed for about the time he was ready to go.
Okay.
And he went to bell ringer school.
Where?
Bell ringer.
That was
That's
not a
all.
public school. That
That
was
wasn't
formed by the
public, yeah.
parents.
Okay.
That was a little private
Okay.
thing. That,
How long did he go to the public school?
he graduated? He started when he was 5, I think.
Or 6, something like that. Kindergarten.
Yes.
And went through high school.
Okay.
He graduated the same time as his sister.
Okay. What elementary school did he attend?
What was it? I can't remember the name of it. It's where the community center is now, or where the
Gar-
library is now.
Garfield.
Garfield. Yeah.
Yes. How did the other students treat him?
I don't think he had any problems.
No, he was a friendly guy. He made friends everywhere.
Okay.
We went. I think everywhere he treated him
Okay.
pretty nice. I think they treated all of them.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's amazing how much they learned. You know, he got to school, well, before he went into the public school system, he went to the Spellringer School, which was a very small group. But he could read and do simple math, and, you know, he could do quite a few things.
Yeah, we worked with him as soon as he was old enough to be able to learn it. We read to him, and then he got so he could read.
Okay.
He read probably on I don't know, 7th or 8th grade level.
I don't know, he read pretty well, but
Yeah.
and it's because that the school system was forced to provide a program for them.
Mhm.
Before they thought they couldn't learn, well, they found out, well, gee whiz, they can learn. So that was a really good thing. They had special classes, but that was okay.
And he had a real good teacher in the public schools. We became friends with her and her husband,
What was her name?
Judy Davis.
Okay.
Was she Davis then?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. And then they moved to Denver,
Mhm.
Colorado somewhere.
Okay.
And
And what year did he graduate high school?
Mike, let's see, it would have been '70, no?
I honestly
Let's
can't
see.
remember.
Michelle was born in '69, and she was 18, so it'd be 87.
Okay. I didn't ask, when was Michael born?
January of '67.
January 67. Okay.
And our other child, our daughter, was born in June of '69.
Okay. What did Michael do after high school?
Oh, he went to work at the thrift store.
At the thrift store.
Yeah, and did he have some placements outside of the
Yeah,
thrift store?
he worked several little jobs. He worked at Boulevard Pharmacy.
That's right.
And he worked at Green Country Inn, or whatever it's called. And I think there was a couple others.
Mm-hmm. How long, when did Michael pass away?
August 2020.
August 2020.
Mhm.
What is the normal average lifespan of Down syndrome?
It's hard to say.
It's shorter than for most people.
Yeah. When he was born, they thought it was probably just 20 years maybe,
Yeah.
if that much.
Mm-hmm.
But because medical advances and all
Right.
they're pretty susceptible to infections.
Mm-hmm.
But with the medicines they have now,
Yeah.
not so much.
Why are they susceptible to infections?
Beats
It's
me.
just part of the syndrome, I think.
It's just the immune system doesn't develop or what?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know that all of them have that problem.
But that's why most of the
Had a shorter lifspan.
Oh,
Yes.
most of the Downs died from infections of some sort.
Okay. What was the cause of Michael's death?
Basically, he'd been getting dementia, and he basically forgot how to swallow.
Okay.
And we were given the choice of sending him to journey home, him on hospice, or putting in a feeding tube. And
He wouldn't have.
knowing how he would have reacted to the
Yes.
feeding tube, he would have pulled it out.
Yes.
And so,
If you have a feeding tube, you have to understand how it's going to affect you if you pull it out.
Yes. Yes.
It wouldn't have worked for him.
Yes.
But
And he went to Journey Home.
yeah,
What is Journey Home?
it's a place where people go to die.
do you know where it is?
Yes.
Here in town?
Yes.
It's people on hospice
Yes.
go there.
Well, I've talked to Doug Quinn.
Yeah. Well, they keep them comfortable,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
and they're there for a fairly short stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Several of the World War II guys I've interviewed have been there. I've been there to see them.
Right.
They do a fantastic job.
They do. They really,
Yes,
really do.
yes, Yes. Yes.
We were very happy with them.
Anything else about Michael you want to talk about?
Well, he was a lot of fun. He enjoyed life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did, if he wasn't having fun, he just didn't do it. So practically everything he did, it was fun. He loved to go to camp.
He loved to go to work too.
Yeah, there's a camp over in Arkansas, or is it in Missouri? It's in Missouri, Purdy, Missouri.
Where?
Purdy, Missouri. It's
Purdy,
called
Missouri.
Camp Barnabas,
Camp Barnabas.
and it was started by the guy that started Kanakuk and Tuskahoma,
Mhm.
and it's for kids of all ages with all kinds of disabilities, and they have different, a week at a time, different groups. Some with, he was in a group that they called it Adult Friends,
Mhm.
and it was all adults, and most of them were mobile and pretty fairly high level. Different kinds of disabilities too. They also had weeks for people who were in wheelchairs that couldn't get around much.
Mhm.
But they have activities, dances,
He loved
and
it.
he loved going there. He went there for 9 years, and he would have gone one more, but when he got the dementia, he started getting paranoid about things.
Yeah.
He ended up not going that year, and next year is when he died.
Mhm.
But
It's amazing that the programs that they have now for people with disabilities, both mental and physical.
Are these state programs, federal programs, or?
The camp wasn't
Camp
state
Barnabas,
funded.
I don't know if they get any kind of.
Well, they probably get funding, but it's funding because they're a nonprofit and
Okay.
because of what they do.
Yes.
And
They get donations. And
because the
got
state
sponsors.
did not pay for the campers to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, they had some scholarships,
Mhm.
and I don't know who funded those, but probably some foundations.
Foundations and other donors.
Right, yeah.
In school, did Michael take part in any activities?
Oh, let me think of what he did.
I don't think so in school, but now he did participate in Special Olympics.
Okay.
He swam. Oh, he was a good swimmer, and he, all on his own, he did the butterfly. And he was not the only one in Oklahoma that could do it. And so he went with the Oklahoma team to the International Special Olympics.
Where was this located?
It was up at Notre Dame
Okay.
College.
Did he win a gold medal?
No,
No, but he
turns
had a
out
good time.
turns out there were people in other states that
Can do that.
were better. But he won a lot. And then, so he swam a lot, and he liked to bowl. He bowled the Special Olympics. And he did some track. Mostly he liked walking. So he did the 50 and 100 meter walk. I think he did the 400 one.
I think he did.
And he was pretty good at not breaking into a run.
Till you got to the end.
If somebody was ahead of him, he had trouble keeping it back. But, and he traveled with us a lot. He's been to Spain and Portugal and Cancun and
Where did he go on his own though with
okay, I mean there's an organization called Trips. And there's two different trips, travel organizations, but this one is for people with developmental disabilities, and they provide staff and all. And he flew by himself from here to Denver, where he met up with the group, part of the group, and then they flew to New York, I think, met up with the rest of the group. They went to Ireland and Scotland.
I do have to tell you though, when he came back, he flew back by himself from
Denver.
yeah. And we went to pick him up, and he got off. This guy got off, and he asked if we, I don't know why he asked us, but if we were his parents, and we said yeah. And he said, "Well, I was his seatmate while he was there." And
he's got a special surprise
for you. And he gets off this plane. Do you have a picture someplace of
I don't know if I've got a
he had put on his kilt and his top
He bought
and
a whole
the
Scottish
blouse.
outfit.
And this man who was sitting next to him helped him get all of this paraphernalia on. And he walks out. He had quite a sense of humor.
Yeah.
In fact, I still have his kilt and stuff. He had a good life, you know, and most of the people with developmental disabilities now do have a good life, and a lot of it is thanks to the legislature who has you know, providing funding for these people to live in houses that aren't big institutions. You know, most of them now have 6 people. And if they ever lived at Hissom, now they got rid of Hissom and put them all in houses. I think the most they can put in a house is 3. But I didn't have a problem with 6. He loved his housemates, you know, and they were like a family. So we've had really good programs here in Oklahoma.
Good, good.
I think we're fortunate.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Wow. Do you have any questions?
Well, he's been asking us.
Yeah. Oh.
And did Michael? He died at Journey Home, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And that was a wonderful facility.
Yes. Have you seen the chapel they built out there?
No.
Only in passing by.
Yes.
It wasn't built when Mike
I
was
think
there.
Stump built that chapel.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, that was really nice.
And it's in memory of one of the Stump ladies.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm surprised they actually haven't built another one, or maybe they haven't, I just don't know about
They've
it.
added on to it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
Because it's a wonderful program.
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Because you're able to go in there and be with them a whole lot more than you could if they were in a hospital.
Okay.
So
How did they used to treat Down syndrome in the past?
oh
They put him in institutions.
yeah.
In fact, when Mike was born, one of the doctors said we should do that. But then our family doctor at the time was Dr. Amon, and he went over to the shelf and took out some books and looked up some things and said we should keep him home.
Yeah.
And we pretty much treated him like we would a normal person, and so he really developed like a normal person.
Pretty normal.
Yeah, well,
He had his little quirks.
yeah, as much as possible.
What were his quirks?
Oh,
He liked to tease,
yeah, he did.
and
Like dressing up in this kilt and coming off. He thought that was a real hoot.
Did he tease his sister?
Yeah, a little.
yeah, but he
And you
loved her.
know,
He loved her right from the start.
Yes.
who's not gonna love a baby?
Yeah, he would do anything for her, and she would do anything for him. She surprised him on his 50th birthday. She came out, and we surprised him at the thrift shop. And she took him over to Alaska to the Mercantile,
Yes.
for lunch. Michelle was good friends with
Yes.
Ree.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
They grew up together.
yes,
And Mike Smith.
And Mike Smith was friends
yes.
with our Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have clocks.
Right.
Oh, just all over the place.
Just the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He influenced Michelle's career path because, what does she call herself?
I don't remember.
She worked with people with developmental disabilities and wrote plans, and you know, and they have behavior management plans, and oh gosh, there's all kinds of plans you have to have, and
she taught some courses online
yeah.
in that field too.
So anyway, it was good for her too.
Yes.
Oh, so anyhow.
And I think it was good for the house staff they had.
Like where?
Peggy and
What?
the Rovensteins.
Oh, yeah. You
Yes.
know,
When he was at the Cherokee house, and then when they built the new one on Wyandotte, and they moved in there, the staff was Peggy Rovenstein and Tom, her husband, who
they lived in.
they lived in at the time. They raised their kids there, and the clients all helped raise the kids. So
It was like a family.
Yes.
it was a good thing.
They don't do that today anymore.
Good thing for both of them.
Yes.
Really. But one of the Rovenstein girls interviewed Mike for a paper she wrote at school, and I think she was going into that field too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she
We
did.
lost track of them
Yeah.
when she moved on.
When did you retire?
96, January 96.
96. What are you doing since you retired?
Whatever needs to be done.
Well, I keep him busy.
Well, for a long time, she worked for another 10 years.
Oh.
Because I was retired early.
You worked at ARC?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
ARC group homes.
Yes.
I helped with all their computer stuff,
Okay.
and also did a little volunteer help computer work at the Elks Club, and for some other friends that wanted help. So I did a lot of that.
And we've traveled.
We travel more especially since you retired.
Right.
But even before you did, we'd go, and if there was a problem back here, they didn't call her, they called me. Because it was usually something to do with the computer,
Yeah.
payroll or something.
Well, this is an excellent interview.
Oh, well.
I want to thank you.
Oh, well. What are you going to do with all of this?
Well, this goes up to the state agency, And
Which is what?
the
DDSD.
DDSD?
yes, yes.
Oh, oh.
Mhm. 'Cause-
Well, I will say, they were wonderful help.
good,
I
good.
mean, we wouldn't have known what to do probably without
Yes.
them,
Okay.
and without the money.
Yes. Okay. Well, again, this is April 26th, 2022. My name is Joe Todd, and this has been an interview with Paul and Ivery Anderson in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Thank you.
You're welcome.